and welcome to Entry Level 2 English Week 10. Unbelievable, only 6 weeks left before exams. Very exciting. Well, I think it's exciting. Maybe you don't, but I think it is. I'm just going to put that a little bit more that way actually. That's better. Okay, so today's objectives. We are going to be obviously doing your spellings. We're going to review instructional language very briefly from last week. We're going to review also types of text and their features and purpose, which we've looked at sort of more near the beginning and done a couple of times, but we're just going to review it again because it's a really important part of your exam. We're going to look at adjectives today, describing words, where to put an adjective in a sentence, a describing word. So we're going to look at those, and then you're going to be writing a descriptive piece of text for me in your homework as well. So we're going to look at how we would lay out that sort of descriptive piece of text like a story. So yeah, those are our objectives for today. So first, obviously, we're going to do our spelling test. So pen, paper. Hopefully you've got all of those things ready for your spellings. And we've been looking at the sound, haven't we, last week? So the spellings are all got an sound in them. I will give the word, say a sentence, and then ask you to spell the word, okay? So, number one. One. I won the competition in last week's magazine. One. How do you spell one? I won the competition. Number two, son. My son is 14 years old. Son. How do you spell son? Number three, among. I couldn't find my friends among the crowd. Among. How do you spell among? Number four, young. I used to be young. Young. How do you spell young? Number five, touch. Don't touch the broken glass. Touch. How do you spell touch? Excuse me. Number six, double. Can I have a double gin and tonic, please? Double. How do you spell double? Number seven, trouble. The students were in a lot of trouble for talking in class. Trouble. How do you spell trouble? Number eight, country. Greece is a beautiful country. How do you spell country? Number nine, enough. I haven't got enough food for the party. Enough. How do you spell enough? Number 10, month. July is my favourite month of the year. How do you spell month? Okay, so that's your spellings. If you need to listen again, then obviously listen again. Otherwise, come and have a look at the answers on the board with me. Okay, so here's your answers. So number 1 was won, as in to win a competition, the past tense of win. W-O-N. And then we've got the other one, as in number 1, which is O-N-E. Number 2 was sun, as in my son is 14 years old, S-O-N. And then sun in the sky, the big yellow planet up in the sky, star, sorry, in the sky is sun, S-U-N. That's a U, so this one is S-O-N. Number 3, among a crowd, in the middle of, A-M-O-N-G, among. Number 4, young, Y-O-U-N-G. Number 5, touch, T-O-U-C-H. Number 6, double, D-O-U-B-L-E. Number 7, trouble, T-R-O-U-B-L-E. Number 8, country, C-O-U-N-T-R-Y. Number 9, enough, E-N-O-U-G-H. And number 10, month, M-O-N-T-H, month. Okay, so how did you do? What did you get out of 10? What did you get? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These were quite difficult ones, so you might have struggled with some of those. I think they're quite difficult ones. Next week, your spellings is a surprise week. So it could be any words from the last 10 weeks. So it's a surprise test next week, surprise spelling. So it's 10 words from the last 10 weeks. So you will have to practice all of them. Okay? Yeah, so surprise spelling test next week. Right, let's start with the lesson. Okay, so we're just going to have a quick review of some of the instructional language from last week, just to make sure that we're using it correctly and trying not to forget it. Some of you I've done the video chats with, and you've already given me some instructions, and they've been great. I've had some really great instructions. So those I haven't done it with yet, I'm hoping to do it early next week with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to your instructions for what I'm going to be doing. So remember, we can use these really useful expressions first, second, then, next, after that, and finally to give instructions. So first, do this, then do that, after that do this, and finally do that. So remember, after these we tend to use the imperative verb when we're giving clear instructions. When we're speaking, we might not use it quite so much. We might use other words in between, like you need to, or you have to, or we might use something in between. But when you're giving really clear instructions, especially sort of written, we use that imperative verb after the expression because it makes it really clear what we've got to do. So the imperative verb is that base form of the verb. So first, open the packet. So the base form, the imperative verb, is used. Second, pour the powder into the pan. Then add milk. Next, stir the milk and powder. After that, boil the milk. Finally, pour into a cup. Really lovely, clear instructions that you can give someone to do. Okay, so first, open the packet. Or first, turn on the machine. And as I say, when we're speaking, we might sort of say first you need to, or you have to, or you should, or you ought to. We might use those expressions. Down here, remember these as well are really important instructional words. They tell us what you have to do, or what you must do, or what you must always do, or never do. So they're very, very good for things like fire, safety, or anything like that. So we've got you must, 100%, you have to is the same. Always do something, or never do something. Nice, strong language telling you what to do. So you must open the packet carefully. You have to boil the milk gently. Always wash your hands. Never let the milk burn, because you'll ruin your pan. Okay, and here we again use the imperative verb after these expressions. With always, we don't have a subject in front. Just always do this or never do that. But with must and have to, we use the subject in front. You must, you have to. Okay, so remember those. And if you haven't done your video call with me yet on instructions, I'm looking to hear some of this language, you know. So I'm expecting you to tell me how to make, or how to use a piece of equipment at your work, or how to make a cake, or how to make, I don't know, how to build a shelf. So I expect you to say, right, first, read the instructions. Remember using this imperative verb. Okay, I'm looking to sort of see you using some of this language, and always check blah, blah, blah. Never, I'm expecting to see some of this language. Okay, so try and think about that before we do our video chat if you haven't done it already, and what I'm expecting to see. Okay, great. Next bit. Okay, so we're just going to have a little review of text and its features, its types and its purpose. We've done this before, but I just want to keep going over it because it's really important to help with your reading, your writing, and to prepare you for your exams as well. So types of text are different ways we can communicate in the written form. So we've got emails, letters, adverts, an application form, a text message, a web page, a leaflet, a blog. I don't know whether you know what a blog is. A blog is on the internet where somebody writes about like a diary, writes a diary on the internet, and it's called a blog. They write about their day, what happened in their day, and what things have happened, where they've been, what they've seen. It's like an online diary, okay? Lots of people read them because they're usually quite funny or interesting. There is blogs about everything. You can find blogs about traveling, blogs about healthy food, blogs about fitness, blogs about being a mum, blogs about parenting in general, blogs about fashion, and people will write everything that they've seen and done and bought, and, you know, tips and advice, etc. Features of text. Remember, the features are the way that it looks, the way the text looks. So things like it might have a heading at the top, might have subheadings, might have pictures or images or photos. It might have underlining. It might have block capitals. I haven't got any block capitals here, but might have block capitals. Might have bold text, bold where it's thicker and darker. Bold text. Might have coloured text, different colours. Web pages have tabs at the top, don't they, to take us to another place. And web pages also have links and hyperlinks to take us to another page. Search box, there's a search box in a web page. To and subject boxes in the email, there'll be a to box and a subject box. Paragraphs, text is split up into chunks of sentences. These are called paragraphs. Also, don't forget we've got bullet points. Or numbered lists. As well, those are also features, bullet points and numbered lists. So we've got lots and lots, okay? So those, you'll need to know them, you'll need to know the words for them because you have to recognise them and use them. Okay, so that's our types of text and our features of text, okay? Okay, and lastly, purpose of text. There are so many purposes of text. So when you get an email or when you get a letter or when you read a leaflet or an advert, there are lots of different reasons, purposes, reasons for that text, okay? So it could be that its purpose is to give you some information. As we've said before, a letter from the doctors giving you information, when you have to go, where you have to go, why you have to go, what you have to do. It could be explaining something to you, so explaining a process. At work, you might have policies and procedures that explain a process. Could be to give you instructions like we did last week, instructions how to use something. Could be making you buy something, trying to make you buy something or go somewhere. It could be trying to persuade you to buy a product or to go on holiday to this place. Could be trying to give you some advice or some tips, things you should do, you shouldn't do to be healthy. It might be trying to describe something, so give you a big description of something, telling you exactly what it's like. Could be to entertain you, to make you laugh, to make you, happy or smile. It could be an invitation to invite you somewhere, okay? It might be trying to invite you to a party or a wedding, etc. So there's lots and lots of purposes, and there's many, many more. There's loads of reasons that a text is written, and usually it's a combination of these things within that piece of text. But there's usually a main purpose, one main reason that they're writing, and it's sort of one of these or something similar. Okay, so these are our purposes. You have to remember a type, a feature, and a purpose. Type, email. Feature, heading. Purpose, to inform. Okay, you have to remember the difference between a type, a feature, and a purpose. Okay, what is the purpose of the text? What type of text is it? What features have they used? You need to remember that. Okay, so what type of text is it? It's a letter. What features does it have? It has paragraphs. What's its purpose? To give you information. So remember those three different things. That's really important for you to remember. Okay, today we're going to be looking at describing something. Okay, so we're going to be concentrating on that, and when we describe something, some of the language that we use in that. Okay, so we're going to be looking at describing words first, which are also known as adjectives. You may have heard of this word, an adjective. An adjective is a word we use to describe a noun. Okay, and a noun is a person, a place, a thing, an object. So describing words or adjectives tell us about that thing, that object, that person, or that place. So, for example, if I take this noun here, a man, okay, a man, I could describe the man for you, couldn't I? I could say he is a tall man. I could say he is a short man, or a skinny. Skinny, you know what skinny is? Skinny is very thin. Skinny, no stomach. Skinny. Or a fat, the opposite of skinny, fat. I could say he is a tall, short, skinny, fat, old, young. So these are our adjectives here. These are all our adjectives that we've got here. So we've got tall, short, skinny, fat, old, young. And all of these things can describe our man. So we can say, oh, he's a tall man. He's a short man. He's an old man. We can say he's a tall, old man. A tall, skinny man. There is an order in which we put adjectives, and height comes before size, for example. So tall, skinny, and height, size, age. So tall, skinny, old man. Okay, height, it would go in that order basically. So we could say short, fat, young. So it would go height, size, age when we describe. We don't say young, fat, tall. It doesn't go that way around. But we don't need to worry too much about that. We just need to worry about using one or two adjectives, not lots of them at the moment, at this stage, at this level. So an adjective is your word that comes before the noun to describe it. And it's always a tall man. That word goes in between the A and the noun. Okay, so a tall man, not a man tall. Not a man tall, okay? A tall man. Or, yeah, so it's a short man, a skinny man, okay? So this can be, these are our adjectives and it helps us to describe, okay? So we can also, though, we can put the adjective at the end of the sentence, okay? Rather than saying a old man or the old man, we can say the man is old. And we would use the rather than a man is old because the is a specific, we're talking about a specific man rather than any man. So the man is old. We use the verb to be, and because it's he, we use is. The man is old. So we can say the old man or the man is old. We have to use that verb to be there. My brother is tall. Okay, I have a tall brother. I have a tall brother. My brother is tall. All right, so we can put the adjective at the end, but we must add that verb to be. So, for example, a tall building. Oh, that's a tall building. Or the building is tall. That is a tall building. Or the building is tall. Okay? And remember we use the or something personal, more specific when we're using the adjective at the end. Okay? So I'm just going to put a few examples up for you on the board, just so you kind of get the hang of them a little bit. Okay, so just a few examples up here. So I saw a black dog. The dog is black. So we can say either, I saw a black dog. The dog is black. Okay, so both are correct. Like I say, when we tend to use it this way round, we tend to know which dog or which thing we're talking about. It's more specific. This can be either. It can be the, I saw the black dog, specific, or a. We can use both for this one. The hungry bears. The bears are hungry. Here we've got are because plural, they are. Okay? He, she, it is. You, they are. A happy child. The child is happy. The busy shops. The shops are busy. You know what busy is? Busy. Lots of people, look everywhere, really busy. Okay? So, we can use it before the noun or at the end of the sentence. When we use it to describe feelings or ourself, it's usually used at the end. So I'll just give you some examples. So when we use it to describe how we are feeling or how someone is feeling, we usually use it in this way at the end rather than hungry students or funny girl or happy child. We usually use it at the end when we're talking about how we feel. So I am tired. Yeah? I am tired. She is happy. They are hungry. You are funny. He is angry. Okay, so usually when we talk about our feelings, how somebody feels, our emotions, or just how we're feeling, hungry, tired, happy, sleepy, angry, cross, brave, etc. And then we usually use it after the verb to be. Okay? So these are our adjectives, these are our describing words, and you're going to be doing some practice using some adjectives, and you're going to write me something descriptive as well. So I'm just going to talk about that. Okay, usually when we have to write something descriptive, a piece of text that's descriptive, like a story, then often we will use a heading. So we'll give it a heading if we're going to make a story. And we'll use paragraphs, so blocks of text. And we can use describing words or adjectives. Okay, we can use some adjectives in that. So I'll give you an example. Okay, so on the board, I've written about my holiday. So it's a descriptive text. So I've given it a heading, my holiday, and then I've separated it into paragraphs here. First paragraph, the first paragraph was about where I went. The next one is about the apartment and the area around the apartment, and the last one's about the food and the drinks. So paragraphs are split according to topic. So different topics in different paragraphs. So you can see here I've got some adjectives. So last year I went to Greece. Past simple of go, went, I went to Greece. I had a great time. So I'm describing the time I had. It was great. You can have a bad time, a great time, an amazing time, a fantastic time, an awful time, a horrible time. So great describes the time I had. Okay, so that's my adjective. That's my describing word. There was a large swimming pool. So here I'm describing the swimming pool. It was large, big. It could be small. It could be deep. It could be perfect. It could be blue. Okay. The apartment was, and here I put the adjectives at the end, right? The apartment was comfortable, comfy, and clean. So I'm describing the apartment. It was comfortable and clean. I ate lots of tasty food. I'm describing the food. It was tasty. And drank delicious cocktails. I'm describing the cocktails. They're delicious. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 adjectives in there, which makes it descriptive. If I took them out, well, I couldn't use that sentence. I had a time. It wouldn't make any sense. Last year I went to Greece. There was a swimming pool and an apartment. I ate food and drank cocktails. Doesn't give us as much. It doesn't tell me whether I had a good time or not, does it? Once you put adjectives in, it tells you more. It tells you like whether you were enjoying it. From this I can tell I was happy because tasty, delicious, comfortable, clean, great. These words tell me it was a positive experience. So adjectives help us to tell a story, and we use them when we talk. When English people talk, we use a lot of adjectives to exaggerate a story, to tell a story. You know, oh, I went on holiday. It was amazing. I had a fantastic time. I loved the food. The food was delicious. It was fresh fish, and the sea was clear blue. We like to use adjectives when we're talking, when we're telling people our information, because it makes it more interesting. Otherwise, it's a bit boring. If we tell a story with no adjectives, no describing words, it's a bit boring. We like to describe, you know, work was awful today. I had a horrible time at work. It was so busy. It was crazy. My boss was mean. He's a mean boss. He's a horrible boss. You know, we like to use adjectives to describe and to give colour to our stories. So it's really good for you to start learning to use some adjectives when you're talking, to give us more of an idea of your feelings, an idea of your stories, of what you're telling me. So I want you today for your homework, there's some work on adjectives, and then you're going to do a bit of reading, which just has some adjectives in it so you can see their use, and it also looks at instructional language, so it's a bit of practice for both. And then you're going to be writing something, and the writing will be asking you to describe something. So I want you to just use, 3 adjectives maybe, not too many, don't try too much, just a few sentences with a couple of adjectives here and there, whether, the adjectives are, large, small, whatever the adjectives happen to be. Just use some basic, simple adjectives in the writing. You'll see what the writing is, obviously, when you open it. Don't forget your spellings is surprise. What else? I think that's it, really. Yeah, so just good luck with the homework. Organise a video chat with me. You've got 7 days, obviously, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.